Good morning, everyone. I will say, even though I am facilitating a conversation about technology, I am not the best technologist. And so I'm going to try to share my screen without incident. And as I do that, I do want to reintroduce myself. As Matthew said, my name is Trinita Carroll, and I am the Executive Director of Family and Community Engagement for Spring ISD. I have been in the department for 7 years now, one of the inaugural members of the team. And so it is my absolute honor to now be leading this team. I am going to share my screen when I see the share screen button. Oh, it's down here in green. And if I can just get one person to let me know that I have shared my screen.
I can see your screen right now, Trinita.
Thank you. Slideshow from beginning. Okay, does it look right, Matthew?
You are good to go. I see you're building family efficacy and technology.
Perfect. Okay, so again, I will be sharing our best practices as we provided technological assistance and support to our families. But not only that, I will share overall the work that we are doing in family and community engagement. So by the end of this, you all will have an idea again of the best practices in how to support our parents' technology needs, as well as how we support our families in meeting their academic, emotional, and social needs as well. I want to give you all just a glance of who we are as a school district, so you'll have an idea again of who we are and the population in which we serve. We are a medium-sized district. We have 26 elementary schools, 9 middle schools, 3 brand new 9th grade centers. They actually opened during the pandemic. We have 3 comprehensive high schools, 1 career academy, 1 early college, and that's actually on our Lone Star College campus. And then we have 1 virtual learning program. Our children who are enrolled in the virtual learning program do not graduate from it because it's not a school. It's a program where you want to go and catch up on credits, or perhaps if a traditional school time doesn't meet your needs, you can enroll in the program and take courses in the evenings and things like that, but you actually graduate from your comprehensive high school. We are 6.5% gifted and talented, 49.5% of our students are enrolled in our career and technical education program. 10.8% of our kids are special ed, 29.6% are in our LEP program. We have 0.9% homeless students for a total student population of 33,779. In terms of our ethnic breakdown, we are predominantly Hispanic, making up 48.4% of our student population, and our African American student population is 38.4%. Rounding us off with white students making up 6.8%, Asian students 2.6%. There are 1.9% of students who identify with 2 or more ethnicities, 1.7% are American Indian, and 0.3% Pacific Islanders. So that's how we look as our Spring School District. In terms of how our Family and Community Engagement Department looks, I serve as our Executive Director of an absolutely fabulous team. We have Nicole Bowman, who serves as our Family Empowerment Coordinator, and she is actually on our Zoom meeting today, and she will be answering any questions you all have in the chat. Nicole handles all of our compliance, and so she oversees our campus family empowerment liaisons. She makes sure that we are in compliance with everything Title I Part A related. We also have 2 family engagement coordinators. One handles our elementary family population, and then the other our secondary family population. We also have a community engagement coordinator, a parent engagement specialist, Isabel Luna, who is also on the call, and she handles all of our social media, all of our family communication. We also have 5 home learning instructors, and these are our para educators who actually go out into the homes and they work with our families to prepare them for school. And you'll hear more about our home learning program as I go through the presentation. And then we have a brand new position, and it is called a parent assistance clerk. This position is different from a secretary, and it's also different from a receptionist in that our parent assistance clerk answers a dedicated phone line where parents call in for support about anything from, I need help with the registration application, I need help with getting a Chromebook, what school am I zoned to? The parent assistance clerk handles those kinds of questions. This position exists solely to support our families. And anytime we have walk-ins, which we have started getting more and more of since COVID, our parent assistance clerk supports any families who walk in and they need additional assistance. So that's who we are as a family and community engagement department. Much like every other district represented on this call, our family and community engagement department exists to create opportunities for family members and community members to truly be engaged in what we're doing in the district. We create those opportunities. We want to make sure that we are enabling our parents to be positive advocates for their own child's learning. We do believe that every child should be given opportunities to be successful, and we understand that we cannot improve academic achievement without the positive partnerships of our parents, our community members, and our family members. That is why we exist as a FACE department. So I want to talk about the work we did pre-COVID, during COVID, and post-COVID. And let me just stop right now and tell you all, if I'm going too fast, just shoot me a message in the chat and say, hey, slow down, or hey, can you talk a little bit more about that? Can you repeat that? Something like that, because I can't see you all, but I can certainly look up and see that there's a message in the chat. So if I need to slow down or something like that, just go ahead and shoot me a message. So again, I will talk about our work pre-COVID, during COVID, and post-COVID. So before COVID, we had a family engagement program that was really a 4-part program. One consisted of capacity building, which was the leadership development arm of the program. And then of course, our parent workshops, our parent classes, and then all of our community engagement, our partnerships, and of course, our community events. We did all kinds of wonderful things in our department and across the district. But when COVID hit, that was a time where none of us were really ready for COVID because, let's face it, as just humans, we had never lived through a pandemic such as COVID. And so we had to really pivot and reset and figure out, how do we serve our families? What is the best way to do that? So initially we thought, oh, this is simple. We're gonna take everything that we did face-to-face and simply do it via Zoom. So whatever parent workshops we hosted, bullying, cyberbullying, whatever it was, we're just gonna do it via Zoom. Whatever parent meeting we're having, our parent advisory council, whatever the meeting was, instead of it being face-to-face, we're gonna do it via Zoom. And life is gonna be great. Well, we all know, especially now that we've lived through this, that doesn't always transition well. What works face-to-face does not necessarily work online. And I had a parent, and of course, we're advertising and putting all of our events out on social media, and we're sending the calls home, and then we're following up with phone calls. Hey, I hope to see you next Thursday online and our Zoom meeting. And then I had a parent who initially hurt my feelings. She said to me when I called to say, hey, want to see you next week. She said, do not invite me to another Zoom meeting because I am not coming. I am over here trying to survive. And when she said that, it hit me like a ton of bricks, because after all, we're the experts in what we're doing, and everything that we do is just oh so perfect. But as professionals in the field, what we have to do, and we already know this, we have to assess what we're doing. And typically, what do we do for our assessments? We use surveys and things like that. But sometimes the best assessment is a conversation like that. And when a parent says, don't invite me to another meeting, I'm not coming, I'm trying to survive this pandemic like everybody else, we have to listen to them. We have to listen, we have to digest it, and then figure out, how do we go from here in serving our families? And so from that conversation, I just discovered that these last 7 years, we had done an excellent job with meeting our parents' academic needs, their social needs, their emotional needs, providing them with all of the community resources that are available right here in our backyard. But I realized that we had not necessarily been very intentional with meeting our parents' technology needs. And so our reset looked two ways. One, focusing on technology support, and two, focusing on outreach to our families. Now I'm going to talk about the outreach first and then go into everything we did with technology. So think about all of your teachers, your counselors, your administrators, everybody who works with the children day to day. This is their first time as a teacher not being able to see their kids every single day, not being able to talk to them, not being able to just pick up the phone and call the families. This was new to all of us. And so our focus became outreach. Call our parents, make sure they're okay, especially in the first 2 weeks of the pandemic. It wasn't necessarily about academics. It was, are you okay? What's going on? And so we started our phone trees. And for our family empowerment liaisons at the campus level, it was please call and check on your parents. And they were submitting every week their weekly phone logs with how parents were doing. And what that did for us was give us an idea of what our parents' needs were so that we could pivot, reset, and meet those needs. And so that phone tree, that outreach became very, very important. And from that, we discovered, okay, we've got some work to do on the technology side. And so we immediately, again, reset and started providing as much technology support as we could for our families. For us, just like everybody else, at the end of the day, the goal of parent and family engagement is to increase academic achievement. One of the best ways that we could support academics during the pandemic was teaching parents our learning management platform. That was the best thing we could do to really make sure our parents were engaged in their kids' learning. Now, I don't know about everybody else, but our learning management platform is Schoology. I pray that some of you on the call also use Schoology and you're familiar with it, because that's the only learning management platform I know. So that's all I can speak to. So in our department, we started, well, before we can even host the sessions, we got ourselves trained. We worked with our digital learning, our instructional support team, and then our curriculum team. And they taught our team, our FACE department, they taught us Schoology. And then we in turn started providing Schoology parent support sessions, because again, that's what our families needed at that time to stay connected with their kids' teachers and with their kids' education. So twice a week, we were hosting sessions, and we did it in English and in Spanish. We showed parents how to, one, access Schoology, how to go in and help their kids upload assignments in Schoology. Anything that you can do in Schoology, we taught the parents how to do it. For those of you who do use Schoology, you know that it also serves as a communication platform where teachers can go in and communicate with students and with parents. And again, that's also the place where they upload all of their homework assignments and their schoolwork assignments. So twice a week during COVID, we focused on making sure our parents were very, very familiar with Schoology. Now, we didn't just get Schoology during the pandemic. We've always had it, but we noticed it became very clear for us during the pandemic that, okay, not as many of our parents are using Schoology or understand Schoology as we thought. And so that became our focal point. We also needed to make sure our families understood how to access our Home Access Center, or HAC. And so for us, HAC is in our parent portal, and that's where parents can go in and look up during the traditional school setting or a traditional time and not during COVID. That's where parents can go in, they can see their kids' grades, they can see all of their assignments, they can see their attendance. Anything you want to know about your kid once you drop them off at school can be found in our Home Access Center. Nothing new. We've always had it. Perhaps we've always assumed that 100% of our parents were plugged into HAC, but during COVID, during a time where we were all at home, again, we discovered here is where our parents need support. Another piece of technology that we want parents using 100% of the time, but the reality for us was our parents were not. And so that was our second focus, making sure our parents knew how to navigate their way through our Home Access Center, because we are now relying not solely, but primarily on technology to stay connected with our families. We're relying on technology to educate our kids, because again, we're not in the schools. And so the thing for us to do is make sure our families fully understood how to utilize those systems. We also discovered during the pandemic that there was a need for technology in our homes. School takes place in the buildings. And so prior to the pandemic, and we certainly provided technology for our kids who needed it at home, but not to the extent that we did during COVID. And so our department partnered with our technology department, and we started issuing hotspots and Chromebooks for our families. Now, even if a family has a laptop or some kind of device, or even a smartphone, most of us have iPhones, or these big old phones that don't even look like telephones anymore. But the reality is, if you don't have a data plan on that phone, you don't have a smartphone. And so we needed to make sure our families had access to the internet. And so our technology department teamed up with Comcast, and we were able to provide hotspots to many of our families. We were able to issue Chromebooks to our families. So what we started doing, we use our building, and the building where I'm located is actually called our Family and Community Engagement Center. And from a staff perspective, our building is like an annex to the main administrative building, but to our families, we're our community engagement center. We are the hub of family engagement. And so this is where we offer all of our classes, all of our workshops. Everything that we do for parents takes place right here in our building. And so our building during COVID turned into a hotspot Chromebook distribution site. And so we were able to connect, lay our hands on, do a virtual high five to our families, because now we're seeing them. We also took that time to, as they came to pick up their hotspot or their Chromebook, we created little just have sheets of ways to support your kids at home, ways to support literacy at home, ways to support math at home. So you're coming from your hotspot, but you're still getting some academic tips as well, strategies as well. And so again, for number 3, what we did for technology support was make sure our families had the technology that they needed, be it a device or a hotspot. And prior to the pandemic, we had already offered computer classes to our parents. And remember, I said early on, what we thought we could do during the pandemic was simply take all of our face-to-face events and activities and do them online, but it doesn't always translate well online. Imagine trying to still offer computer classes to parents online. If I'm a parent in need of a computer course, I probably don't know how to get on a computer and figure out Zoom to go through a computer class. Imagine trying to host computer classes online. Doesn't always work well. So for us, our pivot, our reset in terms of technology was making sure, number one, they understood our learning management platform. And for us, it's Schoology. Number two, making sure they fully understood how to navigate their way through our home access center. And number three, making sure that we provided them with the resources or the technology resources that they needed at home in order to be successful with the remote learning. It took us, and I'm not going to say we were able to do this overnight, because we didn't. And in fact, it really wasn't until that one parent kind of gave me that dose of reality that we discovered all of this. And we learned, again, we partnered with the other departments to get it done, because at the end of our day, our job is to make sure that our families stay engaged. And I encourage you all, or Isabel, have I already talked about the surveys and making sure we are assessing our parents? No, okay. Isabel is behind me, making sure I hit all of my points. So I would say for everyone, and let me tell you all, I am the queen of Rose Nyland. I can tell a story within a story and not lose my place. And I hope you all got my Golden Girls reference here. We all know all of our rules around Title I Part A, and we know that we must assess our program. We must assess the effectiveness. Most of us utilize the survey. If you don't really take what parents are saying and reset, then we have to ask ourselves, are we being effective with serving our families and having a robust family engagement program? Or are we simply making sure we are in compliance? And compliance is important, no doubt. But at the end of the day, we need to make sure that not only are we in compliance, but we're giving the parents exactly what they need. Because what good is a parent and family engagement policy if it doesn't come to life off of the paper? What good is a school parent compact if all we're doing is creating one and we're not really listening to our families and we're not really meeting their needs? And so for us, that became a dose of reality during COVID. And so we had to pivot immediately and get the work done to make sure we're meeting our families' needs. And so that's what we did. Some of these things we're still doing. We're still offering the Schoology sessions. We don't do them as often anymore because we are back in school. We don't have a virtual option for our students outside of our virtual learning program. All of our kids are back face-to-face. We are a mask required district, but we are here every day. And so we don't do the Schoology as often this year, but we still host it. We don't host the Home Access Center support sessions as often, but we do still do it. And of course, we still provide the hotspot and Chromebooks as our families need it. And now we are resuming those computer classes because we have you face-to-face, and now I can better show you how to use a computer face-to-face. So that's who we became during COVID. Again, now that we're on the other side of COVID, we are back in a position to where we can go back to some of our traditional offerings for our families. And so that is kind of where I would like to take the rest of our conversation. Again, we're still doing all of the things as necessary for technology, but here are some of the other things that we're doing for our families that may be useful for you all. So going back to our 4-part family engagement program, our first part is capacity building. And what we do for capacity building is we provide development, leadership development for our staff members and for our parents. So in terms of staff development, you'll see here on the screen, we have a list of workshops that we offer to our staff members. This is not an exhaustive list. This is not a complete list, but these are some of the things that I did want to share with you all. Of course, we host how to increase parental engagement on your campus. And we go out and we facilitate this workshop to every single staff member in the school building. Teachers, paraprofessionals, everybody in the building has to get this training. And we show our campus staff members really how to create their own program, how to engage our families, how to engage our community members, how to show our parents how to be great advocates for their kids' education. We also host a workshop called How to Facilitate a Positive Parent-Teacher Conference. Now, we know, because we've been in education for a while now, so for those of us who are veterans, we might not need this, but for the teacher with 0 to 3 years of experience, they certainly need it. As a brand new teacher, fresh out of college, I learned the pedagogy, I learned my content, I learned how to be a great English teacher or a great math teacher or a great art teacher, but did I necessarily learn how to have those positive conversations with parents? I don't know that I necessarily learned how to have those crucial conversations with parents, because many times the need for a parent-teacher conference arises when it deals with poor academics, attendance, behavior, discipline issues, things like that. How does a brand new teacher have that kind of conversation? And so this is a workshop that we truly do tailor toward the teacher who has 0 to 3 years experience. It is not a requirement, but we do work with our campus leadership and also with our coordinator over our new teacher mentor program in the district. And we offer that for those teachers. We also offer how to effectively utilize parent volunteers on your campus. So of course, during COVID, we suspended our volunteer program and we created virtual volunteer opportunities for our families. Now that we're on the other side of COVID, we have reinstated, I suppose, our volunteer program. We are encouraging our campus leaders to allow our parents to come into our buildings and volunteer in their masks, of course. So because we encourage all of our campus leaders to allow parents to come in and volunteer, that's one thing. Yes, I want to get you in our buildings, but now once you're here as a parent, what do you do? Sometimes we have the best intentions. I want volunteers, but I might not necessarily know how to build a great volunteer program. How do I create volunteer opportunities? What does it look like on my campus? And so we work with our campus leadership team and we help them create those opportunities based on the needs of their particular campus. So in our district, from campus to campus, the volunteer program may look different because each campus, they all have their own needs. And that's what we encourage them to customize and tailor their volunteer program to their needs. But of course, we work with them on that. Also, how to create a positive and welcoming environment for parents on your campus. We all say, we've all heard it, oh yes, I want parent engagement. I want family involvement. I want community engagement. We want it. We've created the opportunities now. But how do we make our parents or our external stakeholders feel when they come into our schools? That's totally different from creating the opportunities. Now we have to create the environment. So we, as our team, we go into our schools and we show our campuses how to go from being a fortress school to a school that's very, very welcoming, starting with the moment parents arrive in our parking lot and park and go into the buildings. Is there adequate parking? Do you have visitor parking or do you have parent parking? Do you only have our teacher of the year parking spot and our administrator parking spot? How about a parent of the month parking spot? Things like that. How do we welcome our parents? How do we make them feel like we want them in our schools? That's the conversation we have with this particular workshop. And then, of course, we offer how to start a parent group on your campus. In our district, we do require every campus to have some kind of group. It can be a PTO, a PTA. At our high schools, they have multiple booster clubs, or you can have a parent advisory council or committee where that group of parents exists to volunteer and serve as your sounding board. It doesn't matter what each campus has, but they must have some kind of parent group on their campus. And so for the campus leader who wants a parent group, but I don't really know how to get one started, we come out and we work with you on that, particularly when it comes to our PTOs and our PTAs. And of course, we don't oversee our parent organizations, but we certainly provide support to them. So that is what staff development looks like at the campus level. None of the second, third, fourth, and fifth ones on this list are optional. The first one, how to increase parental engagement on your campus, is required. We must come every year and facilitate this session. So again, that is what staff development looks like in our district. On the other side of capacity building, we also provide parent development sessions for our parents. And so we do host parent volunteer orientations throughout the school year. Again, we encourage our parents and our family members to come in and volunteer, but let's have a conversation first. Let me train you, or not me, but the staff, let us train you on what volunteerism looks like. And we have conversations with our parents about proper attire, proper behaviors. We want to make sure that as our external stakeholders are in the building to volunteer, we want to make sure that that's what they're doing, so that it is not, you're enhancing the educational setting and not necessarily being a distractor to it. And so we have a very professional, positive conversation as we train our volunteers to go into our schools. We also have what we call parent group training, and that is for our PTOs, our PTAs, and our booster clubs. We talk to them about best practices that we've just learned over the years, best practices that we've learned from other districts. And again, we do not oversee our parent groups, but we do provide that support to them. We also have a workshop called Preparing for Parent Conference Day, and that will be actually coming up in November for our district. So just like we have tips and strategies for our brand new teachers to prepare them for a positive parent-teacher conference, we have the same conversation with our parents. And of course, it's optional, but we do host a workshop and we encourage our families to come in and let us prepare you for what to expect that day. We give them possible questions that they should ask the teacher or the administrator or the counselor about their kids' academic performance, because sometimes, and think about brand new parents, or think about the parent who perhaps did not have the most positive experience when they were students. We want to make sure that they're ready for parent conference day, that they're not nervous, that they understand the purpose of it. And so we give them the words, the same as what we give our staff members. And it's just, it's wonderful. And they walk away with all kinds of neat tips and strategies and things like that. And then I think our greatest aspect of parent leadership that we have in our district is what we call our District Parent Advisory Council, our DPAC. And so what happens there is we have a group of parents, and it's 2 parents from each campus who work with our superintendent right now. And historically, it has been 4 times a year. So we meet twice in the fall and twice in the spring. And we just had our first meeting of the year last week. And I was so excited that Matt and his team were able to come out and participate in our first pack of the year. But that group of parents or family members exist to support our superintendent in whatever our new initiatives are for the year or for the next few years. For example, we just launched our new 5-year strategic action plan. So last year during our PAC meetings, the superintendent spent a great amount of time with our parents in crafting what our plan would look like. And so they were the advice givers, and they provided the input on that. If we're going after a bond, we utilize our Parent Advisory Council to provide input on that. When we rezoned our district a couple of years ago, our PAC was very instrumental in our boundary committee. So they serve as an advisory group to our superintendent, and they're also our group of parents who help to write our district parent and family engagement policy and our translation policy. So this is an opportunity for us to really let our parents be engaged at the district level with the superintendent. And when you come to our Parent Advisory Council meetings, you'll see that, yes, it is managed and it is planned by our Family and Community Engagement Department, but it's led by our families, our parents. And so we have a parent to do our opening. They serve as the facilitators. They are the ones who truly run our PAC meetings with the support of our superintendent. And it's absolutely wonderful. We are making some changes to our PAC meetings this year that I'm so excited about, because in parent and family engagement, it's never a good thing to do the same things year after year after year after year. You have to assess and reassess and reassess. And so in the past, we only met for 4 times a year with this so important group. What we're doing this year is transitioning to monthly meetings, and it will be our PAC meetings will now be aligned with our ACE meetings. I believe every district has ACE, Advisory Committee on Education, and that's a group that's made up of teachers and other staff members, and they meet with the superintendent and the leadership team, our executive leadership team, every month. So our PAC will kind of shadow or be on the same schedule as our ACE. And then we also have what we call the Superintendent's Student Advisory Council, and they also meet monthly around the same time as ACE. And so now every month, our superintendent will have the opportunity to meet with all of our important stakeholders, our students, our staff, and our families. And so I'm really excited to see our PAC being on the same schedule as ACE and SAC. And so that's just a good thing. That's just another way that we're really making sure we're developing parent leaders in our district. The other piece of capacity building that we offer for parent development is we have an absolutely wonderful program called our Smart Start Early Childhood Education Program. And you'll see here in the photo, the lady in the mask is our home instructor. And so what we have para educators, and right now we do have 5 of them. Our para educators go into our homes, and parents receive intensive instruction and support that focuses on childhood growth and development. What we do in this program is we make sure that our kids are ready for pre-K Now you'll see also in the photo that you have a parent and a child. So we don't go in and work with the child solely, because the goal is to really increase the capacity of the parent or the caregiver or the grandparent, whoever is standing in the gap or whoever is playing that parental role in the child's life. And we're also providing now a pipeline from our community of early young learners right into our pre-K program. And so how we get our families, because again, if you are a 3-year-old or a 2-year-old, you're not a student in our school district. So we do recruit through our elementary schools, because we find that parents who have second graders or third graders might also have kids who are still at home too. And so that's how we recruit our families. But again, we go into the homes and we work with the parent figure and the child to make sure that the parent has all the tools in their toolbox that they need to make sure that their kid is ready for a successful pre-kindergarten career in our district. And the fact that we are providing this service to our families before they're even in our schools just really assures us that we are pouring into our own future students and they're staying with us as opposed to going out to other districts. Because if you are familiar with Spring ISD, or if you are the size of the district that we are surrounded by other districts our size. And so we want to make sure that we keep our own families in our district. And so our Smart Start early childhood education program is absolutely wonderful. So that's part one. Part two of what our family engagement program looks like consists of our parent workshops. So, and we've done this for years. Every month, many districts call it Parent University. There are different names no matter where you go, but we all know that we do similar work sometimes. And so we do offer monthly parent workshops that address the academic, social, or emotional needs of our students. This is certainly not an exhaustive list, but examples of some of the workshops that we have facilitated in the past have been College Readiness 101. Are you a college ready parent? Where we talk to our parents and we teach them the difference between being college aware versus college ready. Assessments 101. What do our state assessments look like? How can you as a parent support your child in being prepared for assessments? Of course, bullying, internet safety, cyberbullying, understanding advanced placement and dual credit classes. We still offer a transitions workshop for our parents, particularly, going from elementary to middle and middle to high. And then our high school college counselors do an excellent job preparing our parents for what grade 13 will look like, or freshman year of college. We prepare them for that. So we have a wonderful transitions program. We also have done gang awareness, literacy strategies for young learners. This year, though, because we're coming off COVID and we've spent 18 months, the children have spent 18 months possibly at home. This year, we have pivoted and we are now focusing solely on academic support sessions for our parents this year. We just had our first one 2 weeks ago and it was absolutely wonderful. So what we do during our academic support sessions is we help parents tackle the TEKS. So last year, while we were still remote, our team started to create these academic learning guides. Isabel, what's the name of it? What's the true name of it? Parent academic learning guides. And we focus on elementary because we need to make sure that we have a good basic foundation. And so we started last year with a math and literacy guides. And so as parents go through our booklet, we just give them strategies that they can use at home to reinforce the learning that takes place at school, because it's important that parents see the connection, and it's important that they help extend our learning into the homes once our kids leave our schools. And so that's what our academic parent guides are like. This year, now that we're back face to face, every time we host a session, we take a different teak, and we make sure that we stay away from all the educational jargon, because we have to meet our parents where they are and use the language that is understandable to them. And so we take a teak, we break it down, and then we show them how to reinforce the learning at home. We've only had one. Our next one is actually October 12th. We're looking forward to it because we got great success from it. And so while we recognize that it is important to meet the social and emotional, and especially now the mental health needs of our families, for us in family and community engagement, we want to make sure that we address any learning loss that may have occurred last year during the pandemic. And so we are focusing solely on our academic support sessions. Now, that's not to say that our parents won't get any mental health training, because they will. We have, as all districts have, a SHAC, our School Health Advisory Council. And SHAC actually does fall under our department. And I do serve as the staff co-chair with our parent co-chair. And so this year, all of our mental health and our social and emotional activities, workshops, events will actually flow through our SHAC. They'll take care of that, and FACE takes care of our academic support sessions in collaboration with our curriculum department. And I have to tell you all, if you are in a district and your FACE department is over here and the rest of the district is over here, please reset and start partnering with as many other departments as you can in your district, because parents have to see the clear marriage between family engagement and academic support or academic achievement. There is a marriage, and it has to be visible throughout the work that we do. And so we have been very blessed to have a wonderful curriculum team, because we are the family engagement experts. My background in education, I was an English teacher, but I certainly can't teach you math. I can't show you any of these math tips and strategies. And so we work with our curriculum department, and they provide intensive training to us so that we can in turn support our families. And of course, our curriculum department, they're there at our meetings as well, but we still facilitate the workshops. So again, if you are on an island, get off of it and really insert yourselves in everything going on at the district level and at the campus level, because our families need to see the true connection between engagement and empowerment and curriculum and every other aspect of education. And so that is what we have done, and they've been able to see that through our academic support sessions, which is our focus for this year. So a question in the chat was, how many parents participated? Let me all tell you, we did a soft launch of this during summer school this past summer, where we invited all of our families who had children enrolled in summer school. We invited them to come out to our academic support sessions for what we called a soft lunch. And the participation was not where we wanted it to be. I suspect it was because we were still experiencing the sense of overwhelmment with our parents and a fear of maybe being back in our schools. Honey, this year, we went above and beyond the call of duty in advertising and marketing and doing old school flyers in our in the children's weekly folders and things like that. So when you come into our community engagement center, we have several conference rooms in here. And when we offer the academic support sessions, we do them in English and we do them in Spanish. So we have one conference room that's in English. We have one conference room for our Spanish sessions. It's the same things, but in both languages. And then we use another conference room for childcare, because we do provide childcare for every event that we offer. Every room was filled. We had well over 100 families who participated in the workshops in the English session as well as the Spanish session. We had all of our tables out, and we still had parents lined up along the wall of our conference room. I almost had some heart palpitations during that, because we are still in COVID, but again, we are a mask required district. So everybody, we were in our masks, and we did make sure that everyone felt comfortable doing that. But yes, we had a fabulous turnout, and we are looking forward, we're excited about our next one. We've already been working on what our activity will be. And let me just be clear, with those workshops, it is not sit and get. We do not even utilize a PowerPoint, because the point of it is to be hands-on with our parents and show them exactly what to do to reinforce learning at home. So again, it's not sit and get. And every family who comes, they walk away with a grade level learning kit. We purchase a lot of the Lakeshore kits. If you all have Lakeshore in your area, that's whose resources that we purchase. And then parents also walk away with books for their kids, because it is important to us that we help expand our families' libraries that they have at home. And if they don't have one, then we want to help them start one. Was there another question in the chat, Isabel, about that, or can I move on? Thank you. So now I've taken you through 2 parts of our 4-part family engagement program. I'm watching my time here. So for our 3rd part is what we call our parent classes. We do offer various classes for our families to participate. The important ones for us are our language acquisition classes. So we offer a Spanish class for any family who wants to learn to speak Spanish. We also offer an English class for any parent whose first language is not English and they want to learn to speak English. Those classes are really important to us, because that helps us to eliminate any language barriers. If we can teach you at least conversational Spanish and conversational English to help aid in eliminating that language barrier so that you can participate in a parent-teacher conference, then we're happy. And so we do offer 2 language acquisition courses for our families. We have started back our computer classes for our families. We do offer Love and Logic for families. And then we have what we call Parenting the First 5 Years. And that is a class that's not for our traditional parents, but for these classes, we partner with our coordinator of the PEP program. That's our parenting coordinator, who works with our teen parenting program. I'm sorry, I was losing the words here. So we work with our district's teen parenting coordinator, and we offer those classes where we teach our teen parents how to parent their kid from birth to 5 years of age. We, again, want to eliminate any barrier to success. We want to give our teen parents all that they need so that they don't end up dropping out of school or anything like that. So we teach them, we give them what they need in order to be successful. This year, we are so excited, you'll see highlighted in our burnt orange here with Lawrence. We are offering GED classes for our families through a wonderful partnership with Lone Star College. We are able to provide GED courses. So any community member who wants to earn their GED can come to our community engagement building. They sit through the coursework, and then they sit through the exam right here in our building. We are so excited about that. We are very, very thankful for Lone Star College, because this is something we would get over the years, just random phone calls from community members asking if we offer the GED. And so this year we finally do. And so we're just excited and thankful for that partnership with Lone Star College. So those are the kinds of classes that we offer. Now, the language classes and the computer classes, we actually pay an instructor that's or a teacher that's already in our district. We do pay them using Title I funds. And of course, it's after school. Anything that we do typically starts at 6:00 p.m. We meet our parents when they are available. And for us, they happen to be available in the evenings. And so we are able to pay teachers to teach the computer class and our language classes in terms of GED because of our generous partnership with Lone Star College. They come in and provide everything for us. And so there is no cost associated with the GED program from our department. So those are the classes that we offer. And again, they are all at night. And so for us, we have long nights, but I am very blessed to have a team who understands, and it is their ministry just as it is mine. And so as professionals, you know, there is no comp time and things like that. So even though we work 8 to 4:30, our days typically don't end until 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday, because our classes start at night. But I do encourage a work-life balance. But we're here until 8 Monday through Thursday, many times. And then part 4 of our family engagement program is our community engagement. So we all know, because we're all in the same work, that you cannot increase student achievement without the partnership of all of our stakeholders, our families, our community members, and our schools. And so our goal in our district is to have every single school adopted by a business in our that sits in our district, a faith-based organization in our district, and of course, a parent group. And now we have all of our stakeholders working for the benefit of the children. And so some of our community groups, and you have listed here just 3 that I'd like to highlight, are our Ministerial Alliance. And that is a group of faith-based leaders in our district who work at the district level as well as at the campus level. At the campus level, they adopt a school and provide whatever necessary support that that school needs. And so that partnership looks different on every single campus, because our ministers, our deacons, our faith-based leaders seek to meet whatever the need is on the campus. At the district level, they work with our superintendent. Now they meet with the superintendent 4 times.
Bernita?
Yes, ma'am.
Brittany James, I'm going to interrupt you on this because you may not remember what you were saying, but she said, Can she say that one more time? Every school is adopted by what?
Oh, yes. So our goal in our department is to make sure every school is adopted by a parent group, which, remember, we already talked about that, the PTO or PTA, whatever that parent group looks like, and then a small business who resides within our district boundaries, and then a faith-based organization. So you've got the school, the home, the community, and that community is 2-part, the business and the church. So we want to surround our school, our staff, our students with the support of all of our stakeholders. Does that make sense? Okay, am I able to continue, Katie?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. So now I just want to share with you what those groups look like. For our Ministerial Alliance, again, that's our faith-based churches who work with our schools, and then they meet with our superintendent 4 times a year. We just had a Ministerial Alliance meeting last week, and they do the same thing as our Parent Advisory Council, they provide input. There's our external stakeholders who are providing input on all of our district level initiatives, our superintendent's initiatives, such as our 5-year strategic action plan, our boundaries, things like that. And again, they support our schools. We also have what we call the Under One Roof Real Estate and Apartment Community Consortium. That is the same thing as our Ministerial Alliance, except here we work with all of our real estate agents, our apartment managers, and our hotel managers. We meet with them 4 times a year. Now, the goal for this group, Under One Roof, I'm sure we're not the only district who have very mobile families where every 3 months or every 6 months, when there's a better lease over here, we lease hop to get the best deal that we can get. So what we do, we encourage our apartments to offer or have our family sign at least a 1-year lease. Now, we're miracle workers here, and we can work with the children as long as we have them in front of us. But we do our best work when we can keep our students and our families at least 1 full year. And so that's what we ask of our apartment managers. Push 1-year leases so that we can keep our families at the same school for a year. And in exchange, because we want all of our relationships to be mutually beneficial, in exchange, any workshop, any class, anything or any support that they need from us, we will go out to the apartments and offer these same workshops to the residents in their apartment community. It's a win-win situation. And what we have started doing, y'all, I'm so excited about this, because for 7 years, when we would go out and have the conversations and training our staff, we would always say, meet our families where they are when they are available. And now the wave is catching on. We have open house at our schools. Meet the Teacher is out in the community, in some of our apartment communities, or in working with our HOAs and going to some of our neighborhoods and hosting Meet the Teacher there. And it is wonderful because our parents see, oh, wow, you're coming to me? Absolutely. We care. We want to partner with you. That is the message that we send our families when we meet them where they are, when they are available. And so our Under One Roof has been successful because, again, it is a mutually beneficial relationship. And then finally, we have what we call our Business Advisory Council. And again, it's the same format of our Ministerial Alliance and our Under One Roof Apartment Community Consortium. But in this case, we work with all of our small businesses in our boundaries, and we encourage them, again, to adopt a school in their area. Now, we see the value in the big companies like the Exxon Mobils, the Hewlett Packards of the world, but we also recognize what our small businesses bring to the table. And we know that it is our small businesses, our barbershops, our insurance agencies, companies like that, our printing companies, they're the ones who really are in our schools. They're doing the volunteering. They're standing in the gap of whatever we need. It's the small businesses. And so I encourage you all, don't overlook our mom and pop shops that sit right here in your district. Don't overlook them. Don't only go after the large companies, the large businesses. Please don't, because sometimes you will find your best support will come from those small businesses, because typically they're the ones who have graduated from the schools in the district. They have children in the district. Many times they live in the district because this is where their company resides. And so please don't sleep on the small businesses. And they are the ones, when we talk about areas of support, when we need funding, because we know about, I don't have to talk about Title I Part A funding and how it can sometimes be restrictive. We appreciate it, but there's just certain things we cannot pay for with Title I funds that perhaps our churches will support financially. Our small businesses will support financially. Our apartments will do what they can to support us. So in terms of our ask for our external stakeholders, we ask them to serve as mentors. We have a fabulous, fabulous district level mentor program called The Vine. It is the Vine mentoring program. And we recruit mentors from all of our external groups. And of course, if there are staff members who are interested in serving as a mentor and their immediate supervisor allows them the time, then we do welcome our staff members to serve as mentors. But for the most part, we do rely on our external stakeholders to participate in our mentoring program. We ask our external stakeholders to serve as tutors in our district. And we all know House Bill 4545. And so if you don't have a good tutoring program, get one. What we do in our district is we work with with our colleges in the area. We have a very, very strong partnership with Sam Houston State University. They come in, all of the students who are enrolled in their education program, they come into our district and they provide high dosage tutoring for our students. This year, we have replicated that relationship with our Lone Star College campuses, and we're in the process now of replicating that same partnership with Prairie View A&M University. And so what we're doing is we're reaching out to all the colleges in our areas, and we're asking them to give us their education students to come in and serve as tutors for our students. We also ask them to adopt a school. And as I mentioned earlier, it looks different at every single campus because they meet the needs of that specific campus. What can it look like? It can look like providing school supplies at the beginning of the school year, serving in the halls, doing hall duty, cafeteria duty, things like that, adopting families during Thanksgiving and providing Thanksgiving meals, Christmas meals, funding some of our events. We want to have whatever is the desire of the campus leadership. And if it's something that we cannot use school funds for, then our external stakeholders may again decide to provide that financial assistance for us. Job shadowing experiences and field experiences, we are always looking for companies to allow our students, particularly our juniors and our seniors, to come in and shadow the professionals. And now in our mentoring program, every student that's in the mentor program will participate in a job shadowing experience. And where do we get it from? Our external stakeholders. So there is a lot that they can do. What I encourage you to do, though, is work with your campuses and figure out the need. So complete that needs assessment, figure it out, and then start to recruit your businesses, your churches, your chambers of commerce. I attend, along with our community engagement coordinator, all of our Northwest Houston Chamber of Commerce meetings. That is an excellent place to recruit professionals to come in and serve and support our students. So for us, again, at the end of the day, in family and community engagement, it is our mission to make sure we do all we can to empower our families and to show them how to be positive advocates for their kids' education. It is our mission to make sure we are embracing our community, or I forgot to mention some of the community engagement events that we offer. Of course, now that we're on the other side of COVID, we're able to go back and do all of our community walks or our graduation walks. I think we're all doing that. We just call it something different, but we have started back doing our walks. We do host National Night Out. We are not hosting it this year as we did not last year. but we do recognize National Night Out. We have books in the barbershop. Y'all, it is absolutely wonderful. So we partner with 5 of the barbershops that's in our area. And what we do is we go into the barbershops, we purchase a bookcase and we stock it with books and we leave it in the barbershop. All we ask is that while our students are waiting to get their haircuts or while they're getting their haircut, that they read a book. Encourage them to read a book as opposed to being on a device. That device, oh my goodness. We want our children, we really want to cultivate a love of reading in our kids and a love of reading outside of the classroom. And so we have our books in the barbershop program, and that's one way we encourage literacy in the community. Another way we are promoting literacy in the community is through our Chick-fil-A Family Education Nights, which I will say we are transitioning right now. So prior to COVID, what we would do, we have had a very strong partnership with 2 of our Chick-fil-A's in our district. And once a month, we go to Chick-fil-A and we, again, work with our curriculum department, and our curriculum team members will come out and they would facilitate quick, and I mean like 5-minute mini lessons. And every month we would have a different focus. So one month it might be writing, one month it might be math, one month it might be social studies. And they would just facilitate a quick lesson, like the lesson would literally be long enough for the parent to stand in line and order their food. By the time you have your food and you come back over to our area, the learning session is over. They're just quick lessons to, again, reinforce learning outside of the classroom and to cultivate a love of reading outside of the classroom. Any child, any family who participates in our Chick-fil-A Family Education Nights walks away with books. We do provide books at all of our events. I say we're transitioning because, as you all know, Chick-fil-A is still not yet open to us yet. And so we have started now this partnership with Texas Roadhouse. We've only done one, but it was just as successful. I don't know if you all have a Texas Roadhouse in your areas, but if you do, or this will work with any restaurant. All they do is give us a section in the restaurant to host our mini lessons. So while families come in and they enjoy dinner, all we ask is a few minutes of their time. They come over, participate in the lesson, and they walk away with books. And I tell you, they absolutely love it. They really, really do. And so I am thankful that we were able to expand with Texas Roadhouse, particularly since at this time, we're not able to go back into Chick-fil-A, but we still have that strong connection. And so the plan is to continue with Chick-fil-A once we are allowed. So those are the kinds of things that we do to embrace and engage our community. So I did my closing a few minutes ago, but again, as with most of you, our goal in our family and community engagement department is to make sure we create those opportunities for all of our external stakeholders to really have a voice in what's going on in our district, to really be visible in our district so that we can increase student achievement. I thank you all for allowing me to come, Katie and Terry and Matthew. I really do appreciate the opportunity. I thank all of my fellow family members in FACE for listening to the presentation.